Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm currently outside a Panera. One of my favorite restaurants, has really great mac and cheese. Highly recommend. Anyways, I'm in my car filming this because I did not feel like being at home filming this as I'm trying to be kind of discreet that this is a thing. I don't really want it to be a super public thing amongst my friends. I don't really want my friends and family to know that I'm doing this. Just cause I don't know. I think it's more fun for it to be kind of discreet and less of a you know widely known thing. This channel. But anyways, that's why I'm filming it in my car, and also because the acoustics are really nice in here, and the light's really nice and everything like that. But yeah. Anyways, in this video, I'm gonna be talking about the new Gladiator movie. I am a film fanatic. I love movies. My favorite movie was directed by the same guy, Ridley Scott. My favorite movie is The Martian. You guys can ask me about that later. But yeah, he directed this film, just like he directed the first one. And I wanted to say my thoughts on the film. It was a good film. It wasn't anything special. In a way, it was kind of a copy of the first one. I kind of felt like a lot of the stories and some of the tropes were pretty much the same as the first one. That could just be me, but I feel like other people would have thought the same thing. And also, I'm really not sure that a sequel to Gladiator was necessary. I thought that the ending of Gladiator 1 with Maximus, with Maximus dying, I thought that was a very well written and really well done ending to that movie, and I really was fine. I did not want really anything more from the story. Now that's just me. Maybe people wanted more from the story, more content from that story, but they wanted to go on longer. I thought the first movie wrapped it up beautifully. I really thought that it ended well. Paul Mescal's character, Lucius, he's like the main character of the second film, and he was the son of the Emperor's sister. Speaking of the Emperor, Joaquin Phoenix's performance as the Emperor was honestly so good. It's one of his best characters, I think. He's really good in every movie he is. He's really good in Joker. He's just a really, really stellar actor, and he knows what he's doing, and he really gets into character. But him as the Emperor, like in the audience, you hated him. Like, he's just a really well written villain, and he really portrayed that villain really well. Denzel Washington also did a really good job with his character, but I didn't really get behind why his character was like that evil. In the first film, sorry if you haven't seen this yet, guys, the Emperor kills his own dad just so he can have the power as the Emperor of Rome after he learns Maximus is going to be Emperor. And so that was like his driving force for killing his father and actually trying to kill Maximus because he failed. Killing Maximus's wife and his son. And that was kind of like Maximus' moment in his drive to want to, kill the Emperor and get justice. And Paul Mescal's character, Lucius, his wife was also killed, but instead of getting killed by the Emperor, it was killed by Pedro Pascal's character, which I really thought Pedro Pascal's character was actually really well done. I think I would like to see more of him personally, because he's such a great actor, and also like his costume design was really cool. I thought he looked really cool, like all the dirt and grit in his armor and everything like that. I thought it was really cool. But I kind of wish we got to see more of that character instead of him getting killed right away. Because he actually turned out to be a good guy. Denzel Washington's character's drive to want to have that power and all that, I just felt was not as strong as it was Joaquin Phoenix's drive to become Emperor, if you're tracking with me. I felt like, there wasn't as much of a reason for him to want that. I mean, he used to be a slave and he used to be a servant and whatnot, and that could definitely be some drive. Having your power stripped away from you and given to someone you don't really like becomes a stronger driver for you to want to get that power back, if that makes sense. Dang, there's a lot of people here. Anyways, I got a new haircut, guys. You might be able to see it. Hopefully I don't look like a Beatle, a member of the Beatles. That's not what I'm going for. It wasn't as good as I had originally thought, or I originally wanted, but that's okay, guys. Also, I'm wearing headphones just so I can monitor what I actually sound like. Sounds a lot better, and it's easier to talk into the microphone if I can hear myself, like what I'm actually going to sound like in the video. So that's why I have headphones on. I'm not trying to be cringe or anything like that. Anyways, let's get to the main question of the video, though. Was Gladiator II necessary? Short answer, no, I don't think so. Was it a good movie, though? Sure. I loved the visual effects and everything like that. Some people are hating on it for a lot of CGI. I can understand that. I'm not gonna hate on it or dog on it that much for having a lot of CGI. I think that the CGI kind of helped in this end. Like the baboons, like that first scene with the baboons, that was really cool. Like those baboons looked really vicious and like it was a really good scene. I really enjoyed that scene, that fight scene. If they used real monkeys and whatnot, that'd be really complicated. Or at least I think it would be complicated. Maybe they could do something like that. I don't know. Anyways, also the scene with like the sharks and whatnot. My parents have been to Rome before. They told me the history and whatnot and what went on in the Colosseum because they had been to the Colosseum. Some historians have said, don't quote me on this, but they would like flood the Colosseum and they'd actually have boat battles and things like that in there. That's actually really cool. I'm glad they kind of, went with that in this movie. I think it was really cool. It really made it stand apart from the first film. So in that way, I think it was really good. Now, it kind of made it more like a fantasy movie than like more of like a grounded movie. Gladiator 1 was very grounded because everything was believable. It was very historic, and Ridley Scott stuck to the historic side of it. And now I think the second film, he kind of, stretched maybe a little bit. It made some people upset is because he kind of made it more unbelievable in a way. Because the boat battles, like, personally, I find that hard to believe that actually happened. But if it did actually happen, that's really cool. But I think it made it stand apart from the second film. And I think that's a cool thing. I think that's good. I think that was a big driving force for it standing apart from the first film. And that was good. I think the boat battles were cool. I think it actually added to the story. It really made the battles in the arena stand apart. I'm saying stand apart a lot. Sorry, guys. But yeah. So, sorry, I keep getting away from the main question of the video. I'm not trying to be like one of those guys with clickbait, okay? The main question of the video, was Gladiator II necessary? No. Now, here's why. I don't think it was necessary because, like I said earlier in this video, the first film really wrapped it up beautifully. I mean, Maximus was reunited with his wife and son in the afterlife, and they had flashbacks of those scenes throughout the film, and so he finally got to meet her and his son again. So that was rewarding to the audience to see that. And in this second film, they also tried to play a little bit like with that story with Lucius's character and his wife, but we didn't really have too much of an emotional attachment to his wife. I mean, we didn't really know Maximus's wife that much in the film, but the fact that he had a son and that he was looking forward to going back to meet his wife and retire instead of becoming emperor was kind of honorable and commendable. And so you were kind of, the audience was wanting him to return back to his wife and family. And that was something you wanted to see. And so when that wasn't going to happen, when that was stripped away from the character, that's what made us upset and what made us root for Maximus in the arena. With Paul Mescal's character, we of course want him to get back with his wife, but he didn't die in the end, so he didn't get that reward. But maybe that wasn't the drive, because his drive was to kill Pedro Pascal's character, the general. And when he realized that the general wasn't bad and he didn't actually mean to kill his wife, Lucius's wife, Lucius realized that Pedro Pascal's character wasn't evil, and so he didn't want to kill him. So he didn't get that reward, and that's fine because he changed his path, and that's fine. But his reward in the end was freeing Rome, which you kind of almost felt like Rome was already freed in the first film, like after Maximus kind of united Rome again, in a way. Anyways, and so that reward was not given to the audience in the end. So I kind of felt like the ending was more wrapped up and more well-rounded in the first film. And that's fine. Sequels are really hard. I'm going to hand it to Ridley Scott because he still did a really good job. Sequels are very, very hard to please. It's like rolling a dice. It's very, very hard to please your audience with a sequel. When you do please your audience with a sequel and really land that story, then you know you've really won and you've done a really good job because you've done it twice. I mean, that's got to be such a good feeling. But it's really hard to please an audience twice. I mean, it's got to be hard. I mean, how much work goes into making a story like that? I mean, I couldn't even imagine. Like, Gladiator 1 seemed like such a complicated movie to make. From, like, a visual effects standpoint and also, like, a directing standpoint and, like, a financial standpoint and producing and all that. It just seemed like a very complicated film, especially back then because it was made in 2000. And Gladiator 2 came out 24 years later this year. And so I think that, like, making a sequel is very hard. So I'm going to hand it to Ridley Scott. And I'm not trying to be biased because he did make my favorite film. Shout out The Martian, Matt Damon. But I still think he really did a good job. I think that people are hating on Gladiator 2 a little too much than they needed to be. When you compare it to the first film, it definitely, of course, was not that great. I think it could have been worse. Is all I'm going to say. It was entertaining. It was great. I thought it was fine. All the performances were great. The visual effects were great. The story was okay. Wasn't like Ridley Scott's best, but it also wasn't horrible. So, in conclusion, was Gladiator 2 necessary? No. But were we entertained? I'd say so. At least me. Thanks for watching, guys.